sorry. Did you say something? No. Man, we got to do something quick. Okay, we have to buy another snow globe and wrap it back up. Yeah, but what if your parents get back and see the present's not there? Oh, well, we're going to have to wrap up something else in the meantime. Okay, now we're going to need something kind of identical in weight to the snow globe. Identical? Identical. Oh! How about the volleyball? Good suggestion. Oh, no, I meant awful, horrible suggestion.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Kenan and Kel with Adam and Aaron. They call me Aaron.
And they call me Adam.
I really wanted to say Kenan when it took everything in me. It took everything in me. I think that's a good problem to have at this point.
By the end of the show, we should become Kenan and Kel.
I think we're kind of there, yeah.
In name and purpose.
Yeah. Purpose makes sense to me.
Well, this episode is all about the purpose of objects and their meaning, and what the true power of a gift could be.
And Adam, we have our first kind of pop culture reference that was from an extraneous source, like this piece of media that we'll talk about, that Kenan and Kel reference, kind of in a way, comes before Kenan and Kel was filmed. Unlike most of the time when Kenan and Kel sets the precedent and generates the ideas that are then stolen and monetized later on.
Correct. This episode, I think is what you're trying to say, is all about the present tense.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Season 3, episode 12, present tense.
If this was 2020, Aaron, I would have had a very Dan Carlin style history about the present moment. But this is 2021, Aaron, and we're not quite there yet. So maybe in the future with Fantas.
This one was written by our the two breadwinners, Kevin Coppolo and Heath Seifert.
The breadwinners and the bread eaters.
Yeah, they are the masterminds behind the Kenan and Kel writing. Did this feel like one of their episodes to you?
It did. It definitely felt like one of their episodes. There's a situation, impulse and curiosity takes over. They have to then try to make things better, and guess what happens? Everything is worse.
Gets worse, yes. And I think you can really tell, versus the last episode, that they're behind it because Kenan is the one that, jump starts the trouble.
Right.
As he often does in their episodes.
Right, yeah, because it's Kenan's scheming that really makes Kenan and Kel Kenan and Kel. What was the last episode?
The last one was Freezer Burn.
Freezer Burn, yeah, that was just Kel, crazy Kel.
Right.
That felt like an All That skit. The whole episode,
a very long.
The memory of it just felt like a long All That skit. But this is definitely more Kenan and Kel.
Agreed entirely. Let's get into it with Coolio on the big orange couch.
So we walk onto stage. Kenan and Kel are introduced. They're wearing classic outfits. Kel's wearing his baggy, silky sweatpants. Kenan's wearing his baggy denim jeans, and they just got their normal tops on.
Kel's got a vibrant white shirt and hat.
Yeah, it's very, very white. Kenan's yellow. I was going to point out that Kenan looks more like the Kenan that we know and love today.
Oh, you think so?
And I feel like he's really, I mean, not like hair-wise, but he's starting to look a little bit older.
He's kind of filling in his outfit.
Yep, yeah, that, but also just like his facial features he looks like more seasoned.
His face changes so much throughout the show.
It's true.
Because you remember, back in the pilots and the early season 1 stuff, he was just he had these big rosy cheeks and that have been kind of manned out.
Yeah, he's manning up. Anyways, Kel is eating something, Adam. What's Kel eating?
A corn dog.
Nothing says America like a corn dog.
No. Have you ever had a corn dog? I have to ask.
I honestly don't think I have.
No, we were in a corn dog family.
No, we were not.
No.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to eating one, although, I mean, that's like, woo.
You have to be in a really particular mood.
Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know if, going to the theater to watch a Kenan and Kel Kenan and Kel filming is that mood. But here we are.
I mean, I think it's the same situation as like a baseball game when you get a hot dog. You just eat it way too fast.
Right.
Like it's gone too soon. It's not like a bucket of popcorn that can last you a while.
Right. Or those cinnamon pecans.
Oh. All of this fare will be available at the Kenan and Kel Tavern, Aaron.
We're definitely going to have corn dogs, people.
Minor League Baseball. Food concession stand.
Adam, okay, would you be interested in putting your life on hold for one summer just to give this a shot? Like maybe a couple years down the road, but
yeah, not this summer, but
not this summer.
Give it I'd certainly give it a shot. Yeah,
there's probably some application, or I don't know how those people are hired.
I mean, well, first you just go to one of those stands, right? As a regular employee, and then you become like the Kenan and Kel guy. So you like work up your reputation, and then eventually you'll be like the hot dog guy.
All right, so I know that there's fans of this show, and I know it's on Paramount Plus, but like, how many people do you think watch this show like monthly? Like, it can't be that many.
According to Twitter, it's a percent of the population.
That's what I'm saying. Of course,
every week I see new threads of people being like, I just binged Kenan and Kel this week. So happy this is on Paramount Plus.
Right, but I mean, we're still talking about like maybe dozens of people.
Yes, dozens might be the thing. So
there's nobody who's like 40 years old who's watching this.
Mm-hmm. Worth noting, I've looked at our stats, and we've been all across the continental United States. We might be in like 30 or so of the 50 states.
Well, that's pretty good.
People that have listened to this. So, yes, it's probably hard to imagine that they're all in like can reach the same baseball stadium.
I'm sure people would go to the stand if they're not Kenan and Kel fans. We would have to play it off with like the Chicago vibe. You know what I mean?
We might have to go to the Chicago minor league game.
That's the only way we would get. All right, let's get back to it. So, Kel's eating a corn dog. Kenan's like, why?
Chastising him. He's like, I hope you brought enough for everybody.
I did.
So he goes into the curtain, and then Paul comes out with one of those, like you said, at a baseball game, one of those concession trays.
Yeah, and it's like clear, and you can see that there's clearly a lot of corn dogs. Definitely not enough for the entire audience, but it's a good joke.
And he's like, "Who wants a corn dog?" And he goes to the audience and he starts throwing them out.
No, throwing them too.
Yeah.
Like, he gets to the point, he hands a few out, and then he turns around and he's throwing them over his back. And I'm like, so a few years ago, Adam, there was a I think it was the Philly Fanatic, we're based out of Philadelphia. So that's why I'm a Philly Fanatic fan, and I know this story. But I think it was national news. There was the Philly Fanatic shot a hot dog out of the hot dog cannon, and it hit an old woman in the face, and she had to go to the hospital. I think she like broke her orbital bone or something like that.
That's not an uncommon story.
No.
That thing's like hydro-powered. Like it's really gotta...
Yeah, you could tell us the engineering of it. But anyways, he's throwing these sticks, like these wieners on sticks and so I'm kind of like, how is this wasn't safe?
No, yeah, he's literally chucking heavy sticks at kids.
Meanwhile, Kenan has like the face, and he's just like why?
What's going on? The image of Kel just like throwing them like
like
grains to lobbing them to to grains to like poor people. Like it's so incredible.
And that like not everybody got a corn dog, and so there were just some people in the audience who didn't have one.
Well, you can tell when he went back, people were still like clamoring for more.
Yeah, they're like, hey, I want one.
Yeah.
Anyways, probably the most expensive opening gag so far, would you say?
That's a good question. I'm actually...
That is a good question, Adam. If anybody were to figure this out, it'd be us.
Yeah, they've had like big wheel props before.
You're right.
And a couple breakable things. I wonder how much the opera singer was that one time.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Okay, never mind.
It's up there. It's on the ranking. So he's gonna have to deal with a lot of giving tonight. Kenan says to Kel.
Yes, giving. And we cut to Rigby's again.
Kenan is dealing with a milk crate.
Yep, he's carrying it across Rigby's.
He is very happy because of something that's about to occur, yes?
Yes, tomorrow is his birthday.
Yeah, his birthday. It's 2 more days until party time.
Or 2 more days. 2 more days, right?
Which I find crazy about this coincidence because, as you know, I just celebrated a birthday.
That's right. Happy birthday, Adam.
Thank you. And in the Kyra episode, Kyra's birthday special, we were celebrating your birthday like that same week.
Oh, you're right.
So Kenan and Kyra have, like, we did their birthday episodes the same times that we did ours. That's crazy.
That is crazy. Well, I don't know what to say about this except that the stars are aligned.
Yes, they are.
This podcast was meant to happen.
Apparently, in this order too, with these like breaks lined up and all that.
This is not the only connection we will make this episode. Anyways, Chris is very excited to give Kenan a gift.
It's not just any kind of gift. He is so proud of this gift when he gives Kenan the box that he tells him what the gift is, spoiling it before he even opens it.
He goes, "It's a pen." And Kenan's face is like, okay, first off, why did you just tell me? Second off, why did you get me a pen?
Yeah, so it's not just any pen, it's a talking pen.
A special pen.
Yes. I don't know why you would want a pen to talk, but what it says is pretty cool.
I actually really like this gag.
What does the pen say, Aaron?
Time to write.
Time to write.
Just in case you were confused about what time it was, if you click your pen, it tells you. It's like encouraging. I think it's really smart, actually.
It's a pretty great running gag, I'll say, throughout the whole episode, this pen. And Kenan likes it, and Kel loves it. Kel cannot get enough of the pen.
Kel's all for it. Time to write. Time to write. Adam, I don't know how many Jordan Peterson fans we have out there, but I gave you a book, 12 Rules for Life, for Christmas, and I'm sure you haven't read it yet. That was two or three Christmases ago. But there's the coda of the book, the end of the book. His whole thing is about his friend gave him this pen, and it lights up when he writes it, and so he made this whole like metaphorical thing about writing and light and whatever. But I couldn't help but think this was the same kind of like this pen holds the same kind of weight, the same kind of like gusto, like
the same kind of motivation.
Yeah, it's like right. Right. Don't do anything else, just write. Time to write now. Now is the time to write.
A reminder is just a click away.
That's right.
Or probably 2 clicks with how the pen works. Kel loves it, and Kel is still entertained by this pen in the Rockmore's house.
Yeah, except he actually got his own pen.
Yes, he's got his own separate one.
And he's just sitting on the couch, and he clicks it, and then he laughs. And he clicks it again, and he laughs.
The Rockmores are out and about this episode, I gotta say. They're doing all kinds of things.
They are. So right now, Mr. and Mrs. Rockmore walk down the stairs, and they are going for a walk.
Yeah, it's a beautiful weather for a walk, I'd say.
I think so. Roger's wearing a sweat jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl grabbed a backpack and a water bottle. They're ready to go. Kenan is like, basically like, hey, my birthday's tomorrow.
Hope you remembered.
Yeah.
And Roger it kind of gloats to him about his gift.
Yeah.
He
we
says,
got you the best gift ever.
Yes. They go to leave, but not before Roger destroys Kel's pen.
Right. Kel's pressing the time to write throughout this whole interaction, and Roger just grabs it, throws it against the wall, it smashes, it goes, time to write.
Yeah, later's all, time to write.
Okay, I wonder if they actually like had somebody say time to write every time. Or if it was like,
I think it was a sound effect. I don't know how they did with the live audience, though.
It must have been a sound effect of some sort.
Yeah, they break it. And Kenan goes, wow, this is the best gift ever. Better go find it.
Yeah, and so we cut right to the Rockmore, Mr. and Mrs. Rockmore's bedroom, which, Adam, has anything good ever happened in...
No, nothing good has ever happened.
I have to say, this show sends a very good message. It's like, don't go into your parents' bedroom. Like, bad things will happen.
Only trouble will find you there.
Right.
Yeah. And also, I want to just point out how hypocritical Kenan is in this moment. Because a scene ago, he got really mad at Chris for spoiling his gift. like before he opened it up.
Great point.
Yeah, and now he's immediately like, well, I'll just wrap up the gift again, so I'm gonna go find it and spoil it myself.
Or maybe Chris maybe he actually liked that, and so Chris showed him that he liked knowing it beforehand. I think that actually might be true because Kenan definitely seems like he wants to be in control, and so he wants to know what he's being given so that he can plan his reaction.
Yeah, maybe that's it. He doesn't like it when Chris spoiled it, but if he spoils it himself, no problem.
That's right. I think this is kind of like a control complex from Kenan.
Kenan says to Kel what he always says to him when Kel's in the bedroom, which is try not to make a mess.
Right, and so Kel goes over to the dresser and just starts throwing things out.
Immediately, just empties all the underwear out of there.
Not that big of a mess, but still a mess. So, as he's cleaning it up, and he tries to click the pen and it doesn't work.
It's very sad.
It is kind of sad.
Kenan stops him and says, "The idea is to make it look like we were never in here." Oh.
So Kenan's like, "Oh, the closet." And so he goes over to the closet. He finds wrapping paper. He's like, we're getting close. Then he finds a box. That's all wrapped up.
How big would you say this box is?
Okay, so I don't deal with the shape of cubes on a regular basis, Adam, so I don't know. 6 inches by 5 inches by 4 inches high.
It's a little small. Yeah, it looks like your kind of standard... man, actually, I don't know what a good comparison is. Like a sandwich bag box, maybe.
Bigger than that. It's bigger than that. I don't know much about box sizes, but I know that was wrong.
All right, call it like a 6 by 6 by 8 kind of box.
Okay.
All
Just
right.
in case anybody wanted to ship us a package with these dimensions.
So Kel sees this box and takes a guess as to what it is.
So he goes, "Oh, it's a maybe it's a puppy.
Maybe it's ice cream.
Oh,
Thousand Island dressing."
That's a good one. Thousand Island dressing. Yep. And Kenan's looking at him like, "Why am I friends with you?"
Kenan opens it up, and what's inside?
A snow globe.
Not just any snow globe. This one has a cow inside of it.
A cow snow globe, and it's very small and plastic.
Kel has a very long speech here.
I don't have the speech. Maybe you want to put it in, Adam?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This is the best gift ever. Hey, you said it. Look. It's just a normal cow sitting in the field, minding his own business. Then, look, it's all snowy inside. Go cow.
I mean, it's wonderful. Kel, what I love about Kel is that he is so excited about this really simple thing.
He loves the little things in life.
He loves the little things, and he's childhood wonder is so contagious, except not really, because Kenan never gets it.
I think Kenan's immune by now.
Right. It's just a normal cow, and then it's all snowy inside.
And when he's having so much fun with the snow globe, Kel accidentally breaks it.
I mean, Kel's pretty bad at like the accidentally breaking things, because you can clearly see him throw it like over his shoulder, but it's still funny.
Maybe he has some kind of nervous problem. Maybe that's what's going on with Kel.
Right. And they definitely filmed this scene a couple times because Kenan walks over to the broken snow globe to pick it up, and his knee is wet.
Oh, good catch.
I picked that up. Yeah. He definitely kneeled down in the wetness of the broken snow globe beforehand. But we'll let that one slide.
And they begin the blame game that we often play, where, Kenan's mad at Kel, and Kel says to Kenan, this wouldn't have happened if you weren't being so nosy.
Which is a good point.
Yeah.
But you can see them start to go into problem-solving mode. Like they're just... And their problem-solving skills are terrible. Kids, this is why you want to pay attention to math class, because you can actually start to like get better problem-solving skills by working through math problems. Like, I don't think Kenan and Kel took that very seriously, because their problem-solving skills are horrible.
Which surprises me, because their IQs are so high.
Right.
What else are those skills for but not critical thinking?
No. That's what the IQ test is. It's like problem solving.
Yeah, Kenan, I think he has a smart idea here where he's like, we have to replace it with something of similar weight. If we just seal it up, that's going to be bad.
Right. And so Kel goes in the closet and he pulls out a bowling ball.
Wrong sport, Kel, because Kenan sees what he's looking for right on his dad's wardrobe.
There is a baseball in a nice little stand, and it's signed by a very famous baseball player.
It is signed by Babe Ruth.
The Great Bambino. the master of disaster, or whatever.
I wonder how he signed the ball. The Great Bambino or Babe Ruth?
No, I think it was just Babe Ruth. Adam, have you seen The Sandlot?
I have, yes.
Okay.
It's a movie about a boy's father's prized baseball and how they use it in a game. And a giant dog terrorizes them.
Very nice. Yes, that's almost the story, but I'll leave the audience to go back and watch it. The Sandlot's 1993. Kenan and Kel. This episode is 1998. Nine. So score one for Sandlot. I kind of wish it was somebody else because the Babe Ruth baseball is so like everybody knows that's the Sandlot's kind of.
Yeah.
That's like the whole plot of the Sandlot. So
Well,
I was kind of like, really, guys? Like, you could have thought any Lou Gehrig or somebody.
It's not the situation that they ran into previously, where they couldn't get, like, Michael Jordan.
Right.
So they had to settle for a not as famous basketball player.
Right. It would have made sense if it was like Jackie Robinson, right? Because it's like,
Yeah.
that's a good, like that would have, if I had one critique, Jackie Robinson baseball would have been like fit better. But anyways, so they put the Babe Ruth baseball in the box for now, and then they go to a store to try to replace the snow globe. And Adam, what's the store called?
Just snow globes.
And can you explain what do you call it, the clerk here?
Her name is Beth, and she seems to love her job, despite it being one thing. She's your usual Kenan and Kel extra, who just has far too much energy for her lot in life.
Just exuberant. She is just exuberant. Loves snow globes. She walks in and she's so excited to see these two young men. She identifies rather quickly that Kel is trouble, and Kel will break that entire store if he's not watched closely.
Yes. She first offers them one with a lemon inside of it, which Kel's ecstatic for, but Kenan's like, nope, it has to be a cow.
And so she's, oh, the cow one, that's our best seller, which wonderful.
You can tell that this is a Kevin and Heath episode because it very closely follows some of the set pieces of Twizzles Fizzles.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
It's a similar kind of, yeah.
There's only one of the snow globe in the store.
Luckily, they can't kill it because it's already dead. But so Kenan walks over. He's about to grab this cow snow globe, and then this woman snatches it away. It's like,
and
it's
this
not
woman,
Christmas time, people.
Yeah, she has the exact same reaction to it that Kel does, word for word.
Yes.
It's pretty
and
great.
She also has a cow handbag.
So this is a cow lady, like a horse lady.
She doesn't look like one, but yes, indeed. Indeed, she is a cow lady. We turn over to Kel, who has taken the Galapagos Island mega snow globe, which it's probably at least 2 feet in diameter.
Oh, very good.
There you go. I really thought about that one. And he's stuck his head in it somehow.
Yes, he's got his head into the snow globe in a way that he just kind of goes Godzilla on the store.
He goes Godzilla, but nothing breaks.
No,
I have
he's a conservative Godzilla.
I have a feling that they actually had real snow globes here, and they're like, okay, Kel, don't break these.
Maybe like Heath's wife is like a snow globe collector. and like they put her collection on display, but he's very careful about not destroying it.
It really does make you wonder, like, how did they get all these snow globes?
Yeah, like I said, someone must have a lot of them. They didn't make all these snow globes for this episode.
That's right. So Kenan, while the commotion's happening and the cow lady and Beth are trying to get the snow globe off Kel and calm him down, the cow snow globe is sitting on the counter. So Kenan takes out some Monopoly money and leaves it there, which is very thoughtful, but it's clearly not real money.
I think in the story it's real money.
In the story it's real money, and then he just kind of slowly walks away.
Which I think is great, because in a less thoughtful episode, he would just take the snow globe.
Right. No, it is thoughtful. It is very thoughtful.
I think season 1 Kenan might have just swiped that snow globe, but season 3 Kenan follows some rules.
Yeah, he's ethical. He's developing ethics in his old age.
Yeah, now that he's gotten older. I think he'd technically be turning, it's 17 in this one?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably his 17th birthday.
He leaves, basically abandoning Kel to sort it out, which I think is a very smart move on his part.
I think Kel probably did that intentionally so that Kenan could get his cow.
Oh, you think that Kel is actually being super clever by causing a distraction?
I think more so Kenan took advantage of Kel just being a clumsy fool. Clumsy, curious fool.
That scheming is a little more Drake and Josh, isn't it?
Right. They walk in together. They have a plan together. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Back at the Rockmores, Kenan has sealed up the gift once again.
Oh, he has not sealed it up. He just has it in his hand.
Oh, wait, you're right. Go ahead.
He has it in his hand. Kel walks in. He's like, hey, Kenan. And then Kenan hears his parents walking down the stairs. And so he hides it under the pillow. And you're just thinking, like, somebody's going to sit on it. It's going to break. Doesn't happen.
No.
But we find out that his parents are going to see their Uncle Louie.
Yes. New character, Uncle Louie.
And what do we know about Uncle Louie, Adam?
Well, he and Roger once had a very big fight, and they haven't been on speaking terms for many years.
Yeah, they hate each other, basically.
But I think this is a really good lesson to kids. Like, they want to give him a gift to patch things up a little bit, but they don't want to stay very long.
Right. And so which gift do they have, Adam?
We got this stupid snow globe. So Kenan and Kel are freaking out, as they should be, because that's not a snow globe in that box. That's his daddy's prize. It's baseball.
Which has to be probably like $15,000 at least. Probably more.
It was given to him by his dad too, so it's like got sentimental value as well.
Oh yeah, I am frustrated at this because Kenan could have just said what happened right then and there.
You're right. He's woven himself a web of lies, and he chooses to continue the deceit versus own up to it right then.
Right. He's like, oh no, how are we gonna get out of this?
With the events that unfold later in this episode, I have to say, I think his dad would be very understanding and happy that he didn't give Uncle Louie, this guy that he hates, this baseball.
Right, he could have just been like, God, like, parents, I was excited about the gift, and then I found it and broke it, and I replaced it with the baseball and the...
But as Kenan says at, like, I think the end of this episode, well, then we wouldn't have had a full episode, would we?
Exactly. Exactly, which is actually kind of where I like see a little bit of flaw here. It's one of those things that could be easily resolved but just isn't. I mean, a lot of times it is, but sometimes the plot is a little bit more than that. It's like Thanksgiving dinner, right? There's like a whole event that has to happen, and so I don't know. So this one felt like it could have been resolved on a few different occasions pretty easily.
I think this is what we call a season 3 problem, where I think early on a lot of the trouble they got into was like monumental.
Right.
And it was something outside their control. Well, like the Turkey Day episode is a great example. It just keeps accelerating.
Right.
And they are in desperate need of getting a Thanksgiving dinner. The Rockmore parents go to Uncle Louie's while Kenan and Kel scheme. What's Kenan's plan?
Before I say that, I need to say that Kel was very, very amused by the fact that they got the snow globe for Uncle Louie and Kenan thought it was for him, and they put the Babe Ruth ball, and Kel is cracking up, and
Kenan's losing it at Kenan's expense.
Kenan's now giving his like anxious twitch kind of thing, like wait, I need to think of something now.
I think that might also be a signature of Heath and Kevin. Because the same thing happened in Fenced In, is that Kel is so entertained by Kenan's frustrations.
Right. I do have to point out, before we move on, Adam, I don't know if getting somebody who you have a gripe with a snow globe is an appropriate way to make amends. Like maybe a gift card to a restaurant. The bare minimum.
A snow globe's a little insulting, isn't it?
Like a cow snow globe could be taken in very, very bad ways.
Yeah, I agree with that. Unless it's some kind of Wendy's commercial that's going on. What's Kenan's plan?
They're going to wrap up the snow globe in a similar sized box. They're going to go and they're going to try to switch it out really quick.
Perfect plan. Once again, per Kenan and Kel, this would have worked, yes?
Yeah. Oh, it almost did.
But unfortunately, the swapping role goes to Kel, and Kenan's the distracting role, which should really be the other way around, right?
That's right.
And that's what it worked out perfectly earlier in this episode. In just snow globes.
It did, but they didn't learn from their mistakes. They're not very aware of what's going on in their own lives. They kind of just roll through the punches. And so we cut actually over the hedges looking at a front door. And Roger is keeled over in pain with a stomach ache as Uncle Louie is escorting him and Cheryl out.
So I want to point out that Uncle Louie here is played by a new character in our show. The actor's name is Johnny Brown. He's had a bunch of minor roles and a bunch of all kinds of stuff over the ages. He looks very familiar to me personally.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen him somewhere.
It's like, he'll play like a pastor in Family Matters, or he's been on several episodes of Sister.
Yeah, something like that, right? Like the early 2000s.
Occurs to me that he plays a lot of preacher types, and he plays one in Everybody Hates Chris, a series I know you've gone through.
Oh, well, that's, yeah. Oh, definitely.
But in this one, he plays Uncle Louie. How would you describe Uncle Louie? It's kind of... He seems kind of like jolly?
Jolly? I was going to say... Everybody knows what that word means. And he's got a big smile. Very exuberant guy. He's got nice head of hair with a nice side part.
Maybe that's what Roger and him argued about.
The hair.
And Roger lost his hair.
Roger got rid of his. Yeah, he's got bad genetics. Uncle Louie's got this nice head of hair and this big smile, and Roger doesn't really have that either.
I think there's kind of like a stealth theory here about how they were arguing, which explains why Uncle Louie hasn't been at any family events previously. Like, he wasn't at their anniversary party or at Thanksgiving.
Very true.
Roger's bent over with a stomachache, and he says, "Well, we'll see you soon. Sorry that you couldn't stay for dinner." And as he shuts the door, Roger makes a swift recovery.
He stands up. My stomach is suddenly feeling much better. Do you want to go get some ice cream? And then they kind of scurry away. Meanwhile, Kenan and Kel were watching that exchange, and Kenan is talking a game plan to Kel. This is just so good.
Why you describe this?
Okay, so we cut to Kenan and Kel running to the front door. Then we cut to inside. Inside Uncle Louie's house is not only Uncle Louie, but two matronly grandmothers.
I believe they're called Kenan's great aunts.
Kenan's great aunts. They're playing checkers on an expensive looking checkers board. I could say it's
yes,
elevated wood. And these two women are played by none other than Kenan and Kel.
For some reason. I don't know why they did this.
It's so random.
It doesn't even make sense in a Nutty Professor way. Kel shouldn't be in Kenan's family. No one should look like Kel in there. But Shelma is played by Kel, and Belinda is played by Kenan. And they just are kind of making sassy old lady comments back and forth. This reeks of all that skit stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
You old bat. Oh, you done stuff it, you old crow. It's they are just they're fully dressed up in old lady gear with wigs, and they actually it took me a second, but I'm there's pretty good hair and makeup.
Well, the crazy part here is that they had to, in front of a live audience, do this crazy split screen stuff now.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Oh, I know how it works. There's a very clear green screen. It's glitchy in the background. Yeah. With Kenan and Kel. Their actual selves.
It's tough because I think as a live audience, this would be far better if there were actual people there. Because now the audience has to pretend that there's this old ladies arguing with each other.
Right.
When they're laughing at one scene, and when they're looking at them, they have to realize that the Kenan and Kel are walking around them.
Right, yeah, it's pretty tricky. But anyways, so the knock at the door, Uncle Louie goes, opens it. Kenan and Kel kind of barge in, and they're just there, uninvited.
Another classic bit of his uncle's "What are you doing here?" And Kenan has to come up with an excuse and just cannot for the life of him. Just rambling, saying absolute nonsense.
He could have been well, my dad gave me a call, and or something like that. Like, oh, he said his stomach was hurting. I came to check on him. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
his stomach wasn't feeling good earlier. You know, he could have like picked up on.
Oh, is that what happened? Oh, darn. Well, see you later.
Right.
Yeah. But no, instead he says, I wanted to see something in this trash can. Oops. And he picks up a trash can and puts it on Uncle Louie's head.
And then holds it down forcibly.
Yeah. As Cal swaps the gifts.
But as Cal picks up the gifts, he drops them and confuses them. And there you already know what happens.
I think as soon as Cal drops them, whatever one he takes is going to be the wrong one.
Of course. It's like it's like Schrodinger's cat, except every time it's the wrong.
I feel like this happened before. If Kenan and Kel went on for like another season, I'd love to see this sequence happen, but then they like put a mark on like the one. They're like, all right, Kel, this is the one that you take.
Right,
the one
right,
that has
right.
a mark on it. Right. And he finds some way to mess that up.
Yeah, he's like, ooh, sticker.
It gets like stuck in his face or something.
It's just so great. They go, bye, Belinda and Sherma, or whatever their names are. And they go, punks. It was a very chaotic scene here. They just kind of barged in and tried to swap and didn't. But we don't actually know that they didn't do it right until the next scene.
Correct. And the final parting words of Shelma is that, I don't know, I thought the one with the hat was kind of cute.
And then, of course, Shelma is played by Kel. Nice scene there. Nice scene. Very random, but it was pretty funny.
Back at the Rockmores, Kenan and Kel get back. Kenan exclaims that, now all we gotta do is put my daddy's baseball back on the dresser. It's very similar to the Dirty Rat scene. Where Kenan is like explaining this as he opens it up and pulls out the snow globe.
And he's just kind of looking at Kel. And Kel's sitting down and Kenan is standing up. And he's just like, he doesn't say it, but why?
Kel apparently accidentally did not switch the presents.
Yep. And
according to him.
Kel realizes it before Kenan. Kenan's like dancing around with the snow globe in hand and just doesn't realize it. And it's a pretty good moment. And Kel, you know what? I accidentally must have not switched the presents. Silly me.
Kenan's parents return, which is scary because Kenan's like, has to hide everything. And they're exactly where they were. Kenan's parents aren't the only ones that are here. Who else just arrived?
Uncle Louie, wearing his yellow cardigan.
This is a wonderful scene because Uncle Louie has just received the Babe Ruth signed baseball. His parents think that he received a snow globe, and they know the truth, and they're trying to distract from it in front of everything.
And so what do they say, Adam? How do they distract?
They say things like, 2 + 2 is what again? And a couple throwaway lines like that. Did you
I
catch
have to
that?
see what's on TV, and then
Uncle Louie says, I had to come over here and thank you in person. It's the most thoughtful gift I've ever received. And they're just like, really wasn't any big deal. An intense scene as Uncle Louie declares it his proudest possession, and he's going to display it for everyone to see. I love you guys.
And then Kenan kind of just like grabs him and throws him out the door. And then it ends, and Roger and Cheryl don't find out. And they're just like, why is he so like excited about a snow globe? Meanwhile, Kenan needs to talk to Cal. So he says, we left our donkey in the kitchen. Which is just Kenan is so bad. Like I think this is really funny because it's Kenan trying to be like smart and witty, but he just does not get this like thinking on the fly thing.
No, he always cracks under pressure.
Yeah, he's like an egg.
He and Cal go to the kitchen, and Cal immediately starts looking around. Kenan, where's the donkey we left in here?
And Kel's looking everywhere for this donkey. In the cabinets, in the window, like in the
trash
drawers,
can.
in the closet. Wait, and Kel's like, wait, he ran away. And then he goes, looks out the door. Donkey, come back. All right, Adam. 1999, Shrek came out in 2001. I have said before that Kel is like a young Eddie Murphy. Like that's definitely who he resembles.
Yeah. So, some writers write Kenan as Sam Jackson and Cal as Eddie Murphy.
Right, exactly. And here is Kel obsessing over this donkey.
Oh, right.
Donkey, come back, donkey.
And my favorite part of this episode is how Kel returns. He comes in through the window.
Yeah. Kenan just like escorts him out.
He comes in through the kitchen window. He like steps a foot in and he says, "Kenan, I got it. All we have to do is get Babe Ruth to sign another ball."
And Kenan's like, oh, his face says like, oh, that's a good idea. Too bad, Babe Ruth is dead.
And that's a surprise to Kel. Babe Ruth is dead. Oh no!
Yeah, he's
not
like
the Babe.
he makes like this like batting and home run looking. Yeah, it would have been great if he was like the Great Bambino. Yeah, like the whole spiel. And then Kenan's like, wait, I know. Why can't we just get another baseball and sign Babe Ruth's name ourselves? And
so he leaves with that plan. And Kel laments in the window. He says, "Man, first our donkey ran away, then Babe Ruth died, and now I'm stuck."
I feel like Kel should write a psalm. Like his agony is so relatable.
I love how everything always happens to him in the present time of equal weight. These are three equally bad things that have happened to him today.
Right. Everything is in the present tense, and everything is equal magnitude. So we pan over to a very dark Mr. and Mrs. Rockmore's bedroom, and what do we say? Nothing good ever happens in this set.
Nope. We have not had enough chaos in this room yet today. So
first off, they have the baseball in hand. They walk in. Kel turns on the light, and Kenan's like, "Stop that!"
Yeah, he says, "Man, it's dark in here. I'm going to turn the light on." As they're in bed asleep. They argue about the ball. Let me see the ball. And they fight over it. Of course, Kel, when he fights, he gets into spasms. And what does he do?
The ball lands in between Roger and Cheryl. And then we see the ball. Adam, this isn't a baseball. This is a T-ball.
Is it really?
It is clearly not like a baseball. And the other one was like dirty looking and it was signed in pen. This is just like a horrible.
Are saying that Kenan hasn't like laundered this this baseball well enough?
No.
Yes, like
not,
de-age it and stuff,
and
stuff like that. And Kel is the one that volunteers to get the ball. He's like sneaking out onto the bed
with his basketball shoes on.
You hated this last time it happened too.
He can't step on the bed with shoes on.
And he eventually grabs it.
And then Roger turns and thinks he's Cheryl again. I think this happened last time, and like tries to cuddle with him.
He throws the ball to Kenan. Kenan gets it on the stand, and then chaos ensues.
Yeah, so Kel's trying to climb off the bed, and then I don't even know, Kenan like grabs him, and the sheets get pulled off, and it's just a mess.
The Rockmores start to panic. Kel starts to panic. He's got like the sheets under him, and in an amazing callback, Kel's pen starts going off.
Time to write.
Time to write. Just the least stealthy mission ever, and they
didn't wake up during the time to write. Like, they didn't wake up when Kel got on, when Kel got off, when the sheets were ripped off. They were still sleeping. The time to write pen goes off. They're still sleeping. Kenan and Kel take the time to write pen, throw it to the ground, and start stomping it to pieces. And then they wake up.
Yeah, that order of events is important. Cheryl shouts at Kenan, "Do you know what time it is?" And Kenan offers, "Time to write." Amazing callback. That's so good. The whole episode was leading up to that bit.
It's so true. But then Kel goes over to the clock, a normal clock, like classic clock, and he counts 5, 10, 15, 20, 3:30, something like that.
They ask Kenan, "Why were you boys in here?" And Kenan, he's like 0 for 3 on excuses this episode. But he finally nails one. Maybe it's his birthday kicking in. His good luck. But he says, "It's officially my birthday. So, yay, happy birthday to me."
And they're just like, what?
Yeah, they're like, why don't we celebrate later?
It's ridiculous.
The scene is not over yet, though. So, as the Rockmores go back to sleep, they turn the lights off. Kel climbs into bed with them and puts the blanket on top. It's like, all right, well, I'm tired. And he promptly gets kicked out.
Yep, he gets kicked out. Everybody gets kicked out.
Where it's Kenan's actual birthday proper. I like how we always see Kel's gifts to Kenan and then back and forth, like we saw in the Christmas episode too.
Right. So Kenan's wearing a blue hat. It's a little bit crooked, and he has a blue balloon tied to his wrist.
To signify it's his birthday.
Right.
Yeah, he opens up Kel's gift, which is a shoe.
Right, and he gave the other shoe to him last year.
Which Kel says, they're an expensive pair of shoes.
Right. It took 2 years to get those pair of shoes. Yeah, it was very expensive shoes.
Yeah, and Kenan's, I like how cool Kenan is about that.
Right.
It's like he knows Kel for so long that he gets these like crazy gifts, but they're always thoughtful.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But Kenan's eyes and his focus are on the greatest gift ever.
Yep. Roger continues hyping it up, and then Kenan unboxes it, and he pulls out the greatest gift ever given.
The Babe Ruth ball.
And Kel begins laughing hysterically. And Cheryl's all like, "Aw, look, Kenan's crying."
My father gave it to me, and I'm passing it on to you, son.
Yeah. So a truly what was set to be a very sentimental moment of this show, a moment of Roger really just showing that he cares and loves for his son, giving him his most treasured possession, is now ruined because of Kenan's scheming.
Meanwhile, Kel's cracking up and says, "Isn't that ironic?" And he just keeps cracking up.
Yep, and that's the end of the show.
That's the end of the show. Adam, I do not have the closing scene on the closing stage on Paramount Plus.
Well, allow me to describe it. Kenan and Kel emerge, and then Kel kind of says, "There's not a lot of trouble that we got into this week." and Kenan says to him, "If all that stuff didn't happen, it'd be a pretty boring television show."
Oh, okay.
They decide that it is a TV show. Kel's like, "My shirt's probably worth money," and he takes it off. It's been on TV.
Oh my god.
I think a lady's screaming in the audience because it's Kel taking his shirt off.
Oh my gosh.
And Kenan instructs him to, "Look, Kel, I have a better plan. Grab some bread, some sticks, and some breadsticks, and meet me at the lagoon. Come on, Fonzie." And he leaves.
The lagoon.
And Kel is a really good improv line here where he says, "Kenan, I don't like pineapples." "Wait, you didn't say anything about pineapples. What's a lagoon?" Kenan.
Oh, nice. Nice job, Kel.
Here it goes. That's the end of the show. So, Aaron, whose fault do you think this episode was? Kenan's or Kel's?
I think it's either Chris's or Roger's.
Whoa! Coming out of left field.
All right, so like children are responsible for things, right? But they're also the product of their environment. And I think Chris giving Kenan his gift 2 days early just got him kind of on the fever, on the birthday fever. You know what I'm saying? Like it just made him like, "Ooh, I need gifts now." And
He
so
kind of stoked his impatience.
it's not Kenan's fault that he's incredibly curious, and I guess he is impatient, so maybe that's his fault. But then Roger tells him he knows his son. Like Roger has to know his son.
He's done it for 17 years. Why is he egging him on in this way?
And then he goes, "We got you the best gift ever." And first off, they didn't really get it. Like they didn't get him a birthday gift.
He kind of lied to him in a way.
He lied to him, and he made him wonder what it was. So I'm going to say that this is Kenan's fault, but Kenan with an asterisk because he was also negatively influenced by Chris and Roger.
I think I'll represent that by only giving Kenan half his fault.
I think half is good because he did still go and snoop around, which you should.
Yeah. He was still nosy, and that's lust for kids. Don't.
Right. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't go in your parents' bedroom.
Just wait for the surprise. It's always worth it.
That's right.
Real quick, we meet the Rockmores here. We learn about Uncle Louie, another member of the Rockmore clan. They have a very extensive family, I have to say.
We're getting pretty big.
Yeah, because all the people at Thanksgiving dinner. There's Aunt Gertie around as well. There's Aunt Bertha, Aunt Gertie, and now Uncle Louie.
Lots of aunts and uncles, but no grandparents. Or maybe there's one.
They have the one grandma that comes there.
Yeah.
And another grandma that was on the phone for a couple episodes. I know too much about this show. Worth mentioning, Kel drinks another 2-liter of orange soda, as he does. This episode, I would like to share with you the IMDb rating, is ranked very low on IMDb. 58 out of 62 with a 6.9. This is a run-of-the-mill episode. It shouldn't be that low on the list. That's like bottom 5.
It's bottom 5, but I wasn't so excited about this episode. You know, like, it was good, it was funny, but again, the Babe Ruth thing, it was like, it's kind of seen that before. A lot of the stuff was kind of like, rehashed Kenan and Kel. So I would say that it's not Kevin and Heath's best creative effort.
I feel like once a season, they turn in something that's kind of so-so. This one reminds me a lot of who haven't got time for the paint. It's kind of like a mid-tier episode in the season written by them. It's kind of like their okay effort.
Right. But it was still good.
Yeah.
Still a lot to talk about.
Out of 10 bottles of orange soda, how many would you give it?
I think 7.5.
No, I'm right there with you, and because that's what I gave. Haven't got time for the paint.
Yeah, 7.5's fair. I think 7 was just a little. It's just a little low. I don't know if any of these episodes get a 7.
It's got some really memorable moments. I remember some of these from high school, like enjoying Kel's energy, regardless of what's going on around him. Just his. Like, him in a window is so good.
I do really appreciate how he takes something so simple like a snow globe and makes it this awesome, like, fantastic thing. Yeah, so there's a lot of shining moments in this episode. So I'm not going to go 7. A 7.5 is fine for me.
Yeah, I think another one to compare it to is kind of like the Cold War, where the stuff going on around them, the events of the story are big, and their acting isn't quite there yet. This one... Like, by this time later in the season, you can, like, flip those patterns. Their acting is so big that the story can be tiny.
That's right. I would agree with that.
All right, great. Before we go, we have one piece of fan mail here. So this letter came in from Quincy. And Quincy says, "Hey, I'm a listener and a big Kenan and Kel fan. I heard the podcast and heard you guys were looking for merch, or going to start your own. So I found some really cool pieces that you should check out. And I'll link these on our Twitter page, but he found these, they're quilts.
Oh my god.
One has patterns of All Here It Goes, Kel on them.
Oh, that's kind of scary looking.
You think so?
A little bit.
Well, what about this pattern?
Oh, I like that pattern a little bit better.
Yeah, it's a
That's
Kenan and Kel.
nice.
It's surrounded by little, like, quotes.
Man, mind y'all business. I, Kenan Rockmore, the plaintiff. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'll post those on our page, but Quincy ends with, "Keep up with the podcast. I love it." So thank you, Quincy, for the wonderful words and the fun merch.
Very nice. Thank you very much, Quincy. We appreciate you and all of our Fantas here at the Kenan and Kel podcast.
If you guys want to send us an email, send it to KenanKelPodcast@gmail.com.
Until next time when we review the episode called House Sitter,
Oh, man, I can't wait.
where Chris leaves Kenan and Kel in charge of his home for a few days.
For no good reason. He should know better by now.
I'm getting Professor Nussbaum. That's not the name, is it?
Mrs. Nussbaum?
Some Drake and Josh when they watch in the dog I'm getting some of those vibes. It's gonna be a good one, people. So we hope to see you here. Until then, here it goes.
Thank you for listening. You can send us an email at KenanKelPodcast@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at anchor.fm/KenanKelPodcast. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all at KenanKelPodcast.
Why?
And it's filled with cash.
What?
That's your Drake and Josh bit.
I would have to watch every episode in sequential order to understand that.